Hello everybody. It's like freezing cold here. I am in Gunnison, Colorado, and I will show you guys the view, which is absolutely amazing. It's my first time to ever be in Colorado, or really honestly any place like that. Let me move over this way a little bit. Any place like Colorado. So this has been like a really major first time experience for me, of which my family and I, who are staying with some friends in Gunnison, went for our first. Isn't it amazing? It's freaking amazing. And for those people that actually know me, like know me, they know that I absolutely 100% hate anything cold. Like, I'm cold 99% of the time. In the middle of summer, I typically am always wearing long sleeve shirts and, make the most out of my winter wear, even in Oklahoma. So, this was kind of funny ordeal for me to even actually agree. And it was kind of my idea that we do this as a family. So, I'm 37 and I've never, ever skied before. And we got here on Saturday night, very late. And then Sunday, we kind of spent the day getting acclimated. I didn't really have any altitude issues at all. I mean, nothing really at all. And I think mostly that's because we just didn't do a whole lot the first day that we were here. And then Monday was Christmas Day, and Christmas Day was our first actual lesson. And we took we only took one lesson, which probably was hands down one of the biggest mistakes there is. So, we took a lesson together, a private lesson together as a family. Now, granted, I've never skied. JC, my 9-year-old's never skied. Jasmine, my 5-year-old, has never skied. And Jeff has skied like once. And he's like in college. So we are completely all beginner family. So we had Becca, our private instructor, for about, I think I had her like 3 hours maybe, like from 1 to 4. So 3 hours. And we spent that whole 3 hours trying to figure out the basics. And of course, the girls had a little bit of struggle with like winter clothes wear. In other words, like, we were trying to get their gloves right, and then JC would get, she got hot, and then she was, cold, and so you have that to deal with. And of course, the equipment is bulky, and I've never even put on a pair of ski boots, let alone put on a pair of skis, and then when you're beginners, especially when you have kids, I guess you don't use poles. Now, you might have, but we did. That's what they told us. Don't use poles, especially if you have kids on the mountain, so that you can help them. Which is absolute hilarity, because I couldn't even help myself, let alone help my kids. So that makes me a stupid parent. So we went through our lesson, we survived our lesson, and we came home. So on the next day, we decided we're going to wing it as a family. We're just going to do this. We're going to go, at first we were going to go up this one mountain or green that we went the day before, and we just went up there once with our instructor. But no, because that would have been the smart thing to do. We decided to go all the way up on, I think it was called Houston. It may have been Montana. I don't know, but it wasn't in Colorado, and it wasn't Houston or Montana either, because those places are, well, Montana's not really hot. It wasn't Houston. It was Montana, but they probably called it Houston. Anyways, so we get on the lift. First of all, they have to stop the lift for my family to all get on the lift. They had to stop it for us to get on the seat, which makes me paranoid, because who decided that you go that far up in the air and you don't have a bar to go over your lap? Who decided that? That is sheer madness for me. Sheer madness. Like, no. And so my butt was so tightly clenched by the time I got to the top of the mountain that, I barely could breathe. And I was like, nobody move, nobody talk, nobody do anything. Let's just get to the top of the mountain. So I had practiced the day before getting off the lift. And I'll say, honestly, I was almost professional status. I mean, I got off the lift like nobody's business. And it's because I wanted off the lift. Like, I needed off the lift. Well, this time with all 4 of us on the same chair, we go to get off the lift. It was like a massive wipeout of the Miller family right out of the gates. So then Jasmine starts literally screaming at the top of her lungs. So the guy at the lift, he stops the lift, and of course, Jeff went down with her and crashed. And we're at the top of this mountain. Right when you get at the very top, all there is like cliffs. That's all there is. It's just downhill, and you got to get down, and that's another thing about lifts that don't make a dang bit of sense to me. There's ups, but there's no way down. So once you're up there, you're just like, you got to get down, however you get down. Which I personally felt like taking off my skis and just scooting on my butt all the way down was an intelligent option for me. I mean, I know, Nicole, no freaking bar. No bar. And we were way up there. Like, I could have fallen off. And, yeah, it would have been... Anyway, so... I digress. Don't get me back on the lift because at this point I'm off of it. We've crashed and burned right out of the gates. Jasmine is screaming. Like tears are everywhere. Snot bubbles are going out. And I'm like so mad at Miller. And I was like, we are the stupidest parents in the world bringing our kids to the top of this lift. We have no business being up here. None of us know how to ski. Blah, blah, blah. And Miller's like, oh my gosh. I mean, this is right out of the gates. So we... go down a little bit further. So Jeff has Jasmine between his skis at this point, and that's the only way he can get her to kind of calm down and get her going. And because she was scared at that point, she fell right out of the gates. So he's going down the mountain, and JC's going down the mountain, and of course JC gets down. Well, here's the problem, folks, is that when the parent is a beginner, you can't help your children. So I was just like literally just putting my child out there for the wolves to eat her, for her to just to fall off a cliff, because if she went down, I could not save her. It was literally one of the stupidest things I feel like I had ever done as a parent. So JC gets up and, you know, I'm trying to, the funny part is I'm trying to coach her. I'm trying to give her advice. And she's just kind of like, she's, you know, JC's very sweet. So she's just like, mama. And, you know, of course, a couple times she got frustrated and started crying, which Maya was like, don't cry. That doesn't make any of this better. And so I'm getting frustrated and I'm all over the place. So we get to going a little bit of ways and she really getting the hang of it. And I'm in that, what do they call it? Pizza? I'm in that pizza position the entire way down the mountain. There was no spaghetti for me. It was only pizza. There was no spaghetti for me. So, anyways, and this to me was like steep, and here I'm on the green slope, which they say is the bunny slope, but I need to find the mini bunny slope. Where are those slopes? Because I need that. I need the magic carpet slope. So, we get down a little ways. Well, something happens, and JC ends up going off, lands in like some really deep snow. And so she can't get out of it. Her skis are literally buried. And I'm standing here watching her, and I'm like, you're going to have to figure this out because I can't help you. And so she's working it. Finally, Jeff kind of helps her. She gets back on her skis again. Well, in the process, when she got started again, she comes and takes me out. So now we're both deep in this pit of snow. So I kick off my skis, and I've got these boots on. I'm getting her up, and she's upset, and I'm upset. I'm like breathing like I have been in labor, full-blown contractions for 3 hours. Like I'm like, because I'm trying to get my skis off, and I'm digging myself out of the snow, and I'm picking her up, and I'm trying to get her skis back on. Finally, and of course she's getting upset, and I'm like, just go down there with your dad. So he's kind of halfway down the mountain, and he's just standing there waiting and checking on me. This is where it gets interesting, folks. So now I've got to dig my skis out of this ravine. Is what it was. It's a ravine. I know it sounds dramatic, but it's the truth. I'm telling the truth. So I dig my skis out of the ravine, and then I have to get back up, and so I can try to get my skis on. Mind you, I am on a hill trying to get my skis on. So I'm trying to turn them like the way the lady told me to turn them. I get one ski on. I cannot get the other ski on. I'm not kidding you. I'm sliding. I can't get the other ski on. I cannot get the other ski. I was dry heaving. I was throwing snot bubbles. I was literally beside myself. And I was just so mad that here I am. I'm a grown woman and I cannot get this dang ski on. So the Lord sent an angel above to come down. He had on a yellow coat, and he was an elderly gentleman, and he kind of skied up to me, and he might have actually been the ski patrol. I don't remember. And he said, ma'am, do you need some help? And I first wanted to smart off and say, that is the stupidest question anybody's ever asked me. But I didn't. I said, that would be great. And so he's trying not to laugh. He's trying not to laugh at me, which would not make the situation any better. And I'm pretty sure he knew. Because most of the time, those ski patrol people, if you wipe out, they just watch you and keep going. I mean, they want you to just figure your stuff out on your own, I guess. I mean, I saw lots of people wipe out. And then ski patrols would come by, and even kids, and they would just kind of watch them and get up. And I had been there for at least 15 solid minutes, which felt like an eternity. Trying to wrestle with this ski. It looked like wrestling an alligator. I have wrestled an alligator. I want you to know that. So anyways, he helps me up. I mean, and I'm like dangling, and my skis are like flopping back and forth, and I'm holding onto his arm, and I'm like, please don't let me go. And so I get up, and I'm like, and I just look at him. He's like, are you good? And I'm like, I'm good. And he looked like he was going to stick around. And you know that moment where you're like, I'm going to cry. And I just told my daughter that she can't cry, so I can't cry because I have to be, responsible parent here. Even though responsible parent took my children as a beginner skier up to the top of a mountain and just said, hey, let's go. So I sent him on. And mind you, Jeff and JC and Jasmine now are all together waiting, watching. And so he skis past them, and they're all just they're all just waving at him like, we're so thankful that you helped our poor mom and wife out. Thank you so much. And he's like, it's okay. And I'm like, oh, this is so bad. So, okay, so we get going again. So then we get to the point where we have to cross over. Like, there's this big, huge, well, no, let me talk about the first part. Well, I'm behind JC, and I'm just I'm trying to cheer on. I'm trying to get, back on my game. I'm behind JC, and she's doing really well. There's to the right of her, immediately to the right of her, is a cliff. So I freak out. I'm like, get to the left. Get to the left. Well, she's trying to get to the left. And, of course, it doesn't help any that I'm freaking her out. She could probably handle it on her own. I should have just shut my mouth. He's like, get to the left. I could just see her going off the cliff. And what was I supposed to do? I'm like, oh, there goes my child that I spent 17 hours bringing her into this world with her amazing blue eyes. And here she goes right off the cliff. Like, what am I supposed to do? I couldn't do a thing. So anyways, we get down, and we have to go across this part where it's flat. Now, mind you, you're beginners, we don't have poles, so when you got to flat parts, it's really hard to go. So we finally all just decided to take our skis off. So we walk a little ways, and then we put our skis back on, and then we go. It was again, it was the spot, it was straight down, and you had to make this curve. Well, of course, we get down there, we're making this curve. There is a ski guide that has a ski student. Well, JC takes out the ski student. JC takes out the ski student. So then JC, she's mortified. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Which she didn't hurt her, and JC didn't get hurt, so it could have been way worse. Now, that's all going on. We haven't even nearly made it down to the end of the mountain. The very end is the steepest part. I'm like, who came up with this? The end should be you just get on a belt and just roll in, and everybody stands there and claps for you. And none of that was happening. Nobody was clapping for me, and I felt so I was working so hard. And so we got to where we're at the very end, and we're sliding in home. I mean, I felt like I was just sliding in home. We finally get down to the very end where the sign says slow. And it's at the very steepest part of the part where you go in. I don't even know if I'm making sense. The sign says slow, and I just laughed. I was like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. I can't go slow here. I've got to just go for it. So I get all the way to the end. Well, of course, I just what they taught Jasmine was that if she got too fast, just to put your bottom down. Well, that's what I do. Mind you, I've already wiped out, face planted in the snow. Literally, face planted in the snow. Snow was all over the side of my face. Get down to the end of the mountain, and I just laid there. I laid there, and I just thanked the good Lord that I made it, and I didn't die, and that pretty sure at that point my kids were going to make it. I thought they were going to make it. I don't know that it even mattered because I knew that I had made it. Now, granted, here we are. I forgot that the day before when we were up on the mountain with the ski slope, I bit it. And the instructor was there. I didn't know that my phone that I'm talking on right now, had fallen out of my pocket on top of the mountain in the ski slope. Granted, I have a clear case on my phone. You can't even really see it. And it was dropped in this brand new snow, and the ski instructor just happened to see it as she was going by. I hadn't even known that I had dropped it at this point. She happened to see it as she was going to get Jasmine, and she picked it up and gave it to Jeff. You guys, I'm telling you right now, angels are among us. Angels are among us. If you've ever doubted a higher power or angels or any of it, you were not on this ski trip with me. Angels were with me the entire time. There was an angel in a yellow jacket. My ski instructor found my phone. I still have a phone. I would have been absolutely devastated if I'd have lost my phone. So, I am taking the day off. I am literally not going skiing today. I am taking the day off. I'm going to go do things that normal people do, like, I don't know, window shop or something. And I'm not even going to think about it. And then tomorrow I'm going to have one more day and of it, I think. I may change my mind. I am sore today. My neck kind of hurts a little bit, because it was just like the whole, face plant in the snow isn't the best thing for your neck. And, but the rest of me is pretty good. And my ego was really hurt and my pride. And I don't think it was one of my finer parenting moments, but, it's been a great experience. And I will say JC's final words yesterday, she goes, Mom, one minute you were encouraging me and the next minute you were yelling at me. I didn't know what to do. And I mean, that truly sums it up. And at the end of the day, of course, she still loves me. And Jasmine is loved it as well. So that is my first experience with skiing. I hope that I make it. Yes, we have drank a lot of hot chocolate up here. We have drank so much hot chocolate. And to stay warm as much as possible today. And I don't know, maybe we'll do it again next year. Okay, guys, peace out.